G'day YouTube, 3T's here. Hope everyone's been keeping well. So, we all know what gold is, but I went up and looked up the meaning. So the color gold is the color of extravagance, wealth, riches, and excess, and shares several of the same attributes of the color yellow. Gold is a precious metal that is associated with wealth, grandeur, prosperity, as well as sparkle, glitz, and glamour. So, I guess today more than ever, it's a key source of wealth preservation and the reason why a lot of us are getting our hands on it. So in this video, I wanted to talk to you about my collection to date. As I've already made a video regarding my first piece of gold here, these two half-ounce pours, ingots, whatever, they're all referred to slightly differently. I won't go into too much detail there, but instead I'll leave a link in the description section below if anyone wants to check it out. So I've talked about this a little bit, but when I first got into gold, my local coin guy recommended that it wasn't worth buying, anything below quarter-ounce gold due to the high premiums. Now, this conversation mostly came about and I was looking at a 1/10 piece, mostly because it looked cool from a memory. It was an older Perth Mint Dragon coin. And obviously, this guy, really great guy, just trying to give a new, a young gun into the scene some advice. So I really did appreciate that. But, interestingly, since I started YouTube, now, not that I've bought too much gold before this, but I've been able to chat with a lot of stackers globally who have not completely changed, but certainly provided new perspectives on stacking various sizes of gold. Perspectives I probably would not have had, so a big shout out to Anna T, an expat stacker. I'll drop a link in the description section below, but they have these great views on the various sizes of gold, and it's really helped widen my perspective about these various sizes. Now, I think for any new stacker, it's well worth the watch. The key takeaway for me was the idea that there's options when wanting to liquidate gold and that all sizes have different issues. So I won't spoil it so much, so please do check it out. It's well worth your time. Now, recently I've picked up a few new pieces. Now the first ones I want to show here are these two 5-gram bars, one from the Perth Mint, which I know it's quite well known globally, and one from ABC Bullion, another Australia-based dealer and refiner. So these 5-gram bars, quite a bit more, definitely more affordable, and quite nice to look at. They're both, especially the Perth Mint, do go the extra distance with their their security around a lot of their products, and I think that's really important because you're paying a good amount of money for it, so definitely want to make sure that you can trust the dealer. But yeah, so these are the 5-gram bars. Quite simple. You're gonna have the weight, the purity level, the logo. Same for this one as well, and some additional security features on the back. So very sweet things, sweet bars to add to the collection. And as time goes through, I think I will widen my strategy to include a little bit more of these various sizes. And the plan for me is affordability, but also liquidity later. It's easier to liquidate a number of these smaller ones than liquidating a whole bar if I don't really have to. Now, this one is the OneOunce Bar. Now, I purchased this not too long ago when I had saved up enough to grab a full ounce. Obviously, gold, it does fetch, for 1 ounce. It's a good bit of money you're putting into it. But initially, I wanted to get a 1-ounce Britannia, and I will talk a bit more about my Britannias in a minute. But when I went to the dealer, they had this one. Now, I'm not sure about some of the other countries, but especially in Australia, I haven't actually seen too many, or I think this was the first time I've actually seen any gold bullion available. So for me personally, when I see a new item that's kind of hard to come by, I can't let the opportunity slip. That's just me personally. So with the retainers, they're a lot easier to come around, but instead I picked this one up. Pretty cool, very simple. Nothing too, like design wise, like their logo is actually pretty cool, but it comes in a nice case as well. As you can see, I'm going to assume that's some sort of security sign off feature like that as well. But a nice piece to this full one. Like this is my first complete 1-ounce bar report. Now to the Britannias. Now I know these are very popular coins. I've seen a lot of stackers talk about the various Britannias they have. Just to start with, the artwork is absolutely magnificent, very majestic. because it's still in this little seal, you know, it doesn't do it complete justice. However, this is the 2021 half ounce. Now, the Britannia is obviously one of the reasons I got this coin was that the artwork is phenomenal. However, also for me, you know, I look at the other small things like later if I want to liquidate. It's just about the liquidity behind it. Now, Britannia is obviously very popular and high liquidity. So if I do want to sell this later, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. And this one here is the 1/4 ounce. So you can see the design a little better, but you know, beautiful nonetheless. I do hope to eventually grab the complete 1 ounce, and it also comes in a 1/10 piece as well. So I want to grab that full sort of, you know, that family, if you want to call it that, of the Britannias. Definitely something I'm looking forward towards. And last but not least is this 1910 half sovereign gold coin. Now there's a good amount of history, really interesting history behind these coins. So I'll chuck up a few links in the description section just because I don't want to make this become too much of a history lesson. But this one was minted in Sydney and features the monarch at that period, King Edward VII. Now, for me, this is more of a collectible piece, you know, like just that sort of garners my interest, opposed to something I would quite regularly stack. The reason behind it is that it's not, you know, the full level of bullion gold purity as, you know, other coins. So these coins, it contains 91.6% of gold, 8.33% copper, and weighs around 3.99 grams. The monarch that you'll see on the back, you know, it will be different depending on the respective period. So there is a bit of a fun collectible part behind that, you know, trying to grab them all. And, you know, through time, if I do have a bit of money saved up and I can get my hands on it, something I would do, but it's definitely not part of the main strategy at this point anyway. Now, in Australia, now there is no tax when you're buying precious metals. However, sovereigns comprise of the percentage of copper. Therefore, there will be a slight tax associated with that. And that's, you know, whilst it's not huge, it's just one of the reasons why, for now anyway, it won't be a main part of my stacking strategy. However, you know, it is gold, and gold is gold, so it is still will have that, you know, it will retain its value in that sense. Obviously, you know, when you're getting gold and silver, it's two very different sort of games, if you know what to put it that, or two very different things you have to consider. Gold, no matter what size, whether it be the 1 ounce, you know, the sovereigns, which have a slightly smaller percentage, the half ounces, the 1/4 ounce, or even 5 grams, it will cost you more opposed to buying silver. So I always feel that there should be a lot more consideration and planning when purchasing it. Always encourage everyone to do their research before buying gold or silver. There's so much information online, and, you know, take advantage of it. Obviously, a lot of all this is simply my experiences to date and not any financial advice. So please, you know, if you're seeking financial advice, you know, like, it's not here. This is just my own experiences. Anyway, I hope you've all enjoyed the video. Please leave a like, subscribe, and, you know, most importantly, in the comments below, let me know, you know, do you have a gold strategy? You know, what kind of gold pieces are you looking to grab? Do you have any of these ones? You know, let's talk about it. And now, it's a quick shout out to Silver Stallion. So on the first sort of, you know, days of YouTube when I was getting it going, he suggested let's do a silver swap. So my one getting sent from Australia is still in transit, but I've actually just received his today. So the next video, I'll do an unboxing of our silver swap and talk a little bit more about that. Have a good one, guys. Cheers.